We are here.
Yeah,
How you doing?
I'm all right. How about you?
Doing pretty well. What's your name and where you're from?
My name's Charles Martin. I'm from Campbell, Missouri, and Caraway, Arkansas.
Okay. How old are you?
I'm 52.
Okay. What was it like growing up in Arkansas?
Staying drunk.
Okay.
I live with Dad.
Yeah, yeah. So your whole childhood you were just getting drunk?
10 years old is when I started pretty much everything.
Yeah.
Smoking cigarettes, smoking weed, drinking beer.
Now was it handed to you, or you just like were like a kid who went behind your parents, or whenever?
No, well, behind my mom, but my dad actually told me, if you're gonna drink in this house. I don't want to catch you outside. I'll whoop your ass.
Okay.
And I understood because we didn't want me getting messing with the law.
Right. Okay. Do you have any siblings or family you still talk to?
Uh, I talked to two of my older sisters.
Yeah, that's great.
I mean, I ain't talked to nobody in going on a year.
Okay. And you are homeless, correct?
Yeah.
How long have you been homeless?
Off and on, 25 years.
Okay. What was life like for you before you became homeless?
Staying drunk.
Okay.
I just all my life I've been alcoholic. I've been drunk. You know.
Okay. Was there like a traumatic event that happened in your life that made you continue to drink or become an alcoholic?
I no, because once I tasted the beer, I liked it.
Yeah.
So it just, and then I drank liquor, and I like that too.
Yeah.
You know, just I believe in that it's hereditary, comes in your genes.
Okay.
You know, but if my dad would have told me don't do it, I'd have did it anyway.
Right. What was your choice of drink?
Budweiser,
Okay.
and if it wasn't Bud, if it was liquor, it's Crown Royal
Okay.
or Jim.
Now, was alcohol the reason you became homeless?
No, yeah, yes and no. I I became homeless because I lost mom and dad a week apart, and I couldn't deal with it. I
I'm
was
sorry to
drink.
hear that.
Oh, that's okay. It is what it is. You know, it's life.
Right.
Appreciate it though, but I I would have stayed drunk anyway. You
Yeah.
know, it just I didn't know how to deal with losing. Well, really, my dad. My mom, I kind of dealt with. We were close, but not that close. Me and my dad was close.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, how often do you drink?
I don't no more.
Okay.
Well, I can't say I don't. I didn't drink nothing for 3.5 years,
Okay.
and well, living out here in the cold, alcohol helps.
Yeah.
You know, just I teased myself to see if I'd get drunk, see if I'd go back to my alcoholic
Right.
being the way it was. At one time, yeah, I was headed that way,
Right.
so I stopped. But hell, I ain't drank nothing in, I want to say a week, maybe more. I don't know. I don't
Okay.
keep up with it
Okay.
because I know I don't want it every day no more. So,
Right. And you only drink? You haven't tried anything else?
oh God, yeah, I've tried. Damn, I've did acid, cocaine, crystal meth. Meth was my drug of choice.
Okay.
From 14 to 24, I was on it pretty hard.
Okay.
You know.
Any scary experiences you had, while being on it?
Not while being on it. All my mainly scary situations I've been in when I was homeless.
Okay.
You know, I always stay to myself, so it's just kind of, I don't really catch myself in situations unless I go to a place like a mission.
Right.
When I was in Orlando, Florida, I went to the Coalition. This guy right beside me got his throat cut. I saw it, I looked, I got to go.
Wow.
So I left. That would freak me out. That's too much.
Yeah. Wow. And I'm sorry you had to see that.
Yeah. It's life, you know. You see a lot of things you don't want to see, but
Yeah.
you see it anyway.
Right. Any thing happened to you personally being out here?
No. Some people like me, some people don't, but I really don't care if people like me or not.
Right.
You know, I ain't living here so people like me. I am who I am, you know.
Yeah. How do you support yourself with food and things of that sort being out here?
I get people like go to I go to Ken and Carol's through the week sometimes so I can shower and eat laundry. And just dude, here in Nashville you're gonna get food. You know, somebody's always trying to give you some food,
Yeah.
which is good.
Right.
You know,
Do you have goals or dreams that you still want to achieve?
I would just like to get off the street and see how I could live a sober life
Right.
without having to look around my shoulder being out here.
Yeah. Have you tried to get into housing or a shelter?
I will not go to a shelter. I feel safer out here on the street. I I got in housing when I was in Arizona. I was in there for almost a year and I left on my own. I couldn't deal with the people in that apartment complex they put me with. They was meth addicts.
Right.
I couldn't deal with them.
Did you have a bad experience inside of a shelter?
No, I just don't like a lot of people looking at me. I don't like being around a lot of people, period.
Yeah.
But you're in a room with a lot of people and you got a whole bunch of them staring at you, it just makes me want to go.
Right.
I don't want to be there.
Yeah. Understandable. But some people may say it's better than being in the cold or the rain, and maybe even the heat.
But I can deal with heat better than I can the cold. But
Yeah.
I I do what my gut tells me to do.
Yeah.
You know,
Take me through a regular day of yours.
regular day be getting up where I get up, walking over that bridge right there, go to Ken and Carol's, grab a shower, some breakfast, watch a little bit of TV, eat lunch, come back over here, and mind you, when everywhere I walk, I look because I find marijuana and that's my choice. I like to be stoned.
Yeah. So you walk around, you look for roaches,
Marijuana.
roaches on the grounds.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I see cigarettes, I'll pick them up too. It don't matter.
Okay. Does it scare you that it may just be more than marijuana that's inside
I
of
had
the?
thought about that, and the only my thinking don't go nowhere with it.
Right.
You know, it just if it is when it's my time to go, it's my time to go.
Right.
That's the way I look at it. You know.
Yeah. Any advice you want to give somebody that'll see this that's maybe dealing with homelessness or addiction?
Yeah, if they're already not, if they're not already an alcoholic or an addict, they shouldn't try none of that out here on the street because once you're out here on the streets, it's easy to get on the streets. It's fucking hard to get off these streets. Excuse my language, but I mean, I've been on and off these streets so long, 25 years.
Yeah.
It just don't. You're not just gonna get off the street.
Right.
You know, I found out if you don't do drugs and if you don't drink, you're in a better situation for yourself.
Right.
You know.
You want to share how did you overcome the addiction?
Well, over, good Lord, 21 years trying to get sober, clean and sober. I went through many of programs, alcoholic, never went to a NA, just AA. But what helped me the most was when I was in Phoenix, Arizona. Well, actually, I was in Glendale, Arizona, which is right next to Phoenix, but it's called TLC, and they basically relearn you. Like, being out here on the street, sometimes you forget about yourself, and they just basically reminded me more about me because I've been on here so long I forgot, I guess.
Okay.
But it made me not want to drink, so I'm happy with that.
Okay. All right. Any one last tragic or crazy story that you saw being out here on the streets within your 25 years? One short story.
Not really tragic, crazy. I was drinking vodka with this guy one time, and he was in Florida, and this cop come up and told us we got to go. I was too drunk to get up and walk, so my
Yeah.
buddy grabbed me by my ankle, and here he drugged me on.
Wow.
It's not really funny, but some people it is.
Yeah.
It just that basically stuck in my head.
Yeah.
Being too drunk to get on your own feet and walk.
Yeah.
Pretty dang bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Any last things you want to say to people who may see this that may know you personally, or just anybody?
Not really, because if you know me, you don't really know me. Only I know myself. Nobody knows me
Okay.
completely.
Okay. Well, I appreciate it. Congratulations on overcoming the
Thank you.
alcohol and the other addictions that you were addicted to. And I wish you the best.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.